Next up, we have Kim Allen, the owner of Power to Heal. Kim is on a crusade to help professional women who may be struggling with personal trauma declare bigger dreams and build a plan to make them come true. So Kim is going to take the mic. Welcome, Kim.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This has been awesome. This is my first WEN summit, and it's really been great getting to know you ladies. So I'm really excited to be a part of this and share a little bit about my journey and my passion to help other women overcome some of the traumas in their life and really perform at a high level. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. Bear with me for a second. This share screen thing is like new to me. I was testing it yesterday. Okay, I don't think we want that. All righty. All right. Can y'all see that? Like,
yes, good job. Good job.
This is like so new to me, but anyway. All right. So I want to start by saying that my message, it may not relate with all of you, but that it may relate with somebody, that it may be somebody who is in that place where they need to hear this message and they're at that place where they want change in life, or maybe you even know somebody like that. And so today I'm going to be talking about trauma and how trauma might be preventing you from living the life of your dreams, like the career that you want or the relationship that you want. And would you agree that pretty much everybody has experienced some sort of trauma in their life? Like they have, it doesn't matter what that trauma would have been, but it was something that was a painful event. And so a lot of times, well, first of all, your trauma is unique. It's unique to you. And so my trauma doesn't necessarily look like your trauma, and your trauma isn't the same as someone else's trauma. But sometimes we get caught up in comparing ourselves to someone else. So as an example, I've been in a lot of different trauma groups where someone will say, well, this only happened to me one time. And what happened to her was so much worse that why do I feel like this? Like I shouldn't feel this bad. And here's the thing about that is if we try to minimize the pain that we might have experienced in life, it doesn't allow us to really look at that pain that we're carrying around, because we're carrying it into every part of our life, whether we realize it or not. And if we minimize it, we don't ever learn to really deal with it. And so your pain is equally as important and equally as painful as the person who might have gone through something else. So that's the first thing that I want to say about that. And then as you've gone through different types of trauma in life, and for me, it was abuse as a child and into my adolescence, you learn to build these walls. And that's what this slide represents, is what are the walls that you have in your life that are preventing you from getting what you want? And these walls, they've been built subconsciously to keep you safe. So you want to keep people at a distance and maybe not show who you truly are, because what you experienced in life, it hurt. And so I'm going to keep people at a distance, and I'm not going to show who I really am, because being vulnerable is scary. And, I can't see the chat notes. I don't know how to do this. And so I'm like, I really want to know, like, have you ever experienced that time in your life where it felt uncomfortable. And being vulnerable, you might have said, hold up, I'm gonna hold back a little bit here because this just doesn't feel comfortable. And I know I spent years being afraid to show who I was. And so I think a lot of times as women, we are already in this place of we want to show our strength and our power and that we're confident. And when we've experienced that trauma in life, there's almost this other layer of I need to prove that what happened to me in the past doesn't affect me today. And would you guys agree with that? And like I said, I can't see the chat. Like if somebody was like, oh man, okay,
Yes,
I'll look at the chat later, I promise.
Yes, I would agree with you.
All right.
I look back, I've not had a serious trauma, but growing up and not having friends and thinking nobody cared about what I was doing, it's taken a long time to get past that. And it's definitely impacted my adult life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, so does that kind of leave you in the space of, I got to do it on my own. I don't need anybody. And that's where this wall comes in. So let's talk about what that wall is costing you. That wall, because people don't get to see you for you, your real authentic self, it costs you in your relationships. It costs you in the career that you want or to build that business. And we've heard a lot today about being authentic in who you are is how you connect with other people. And so one thing about we're powerful women. I mean, there is so much difference to make in this world, one person at a time. And the thing about it is, when we're self-assured and we really have control of our life and our belief systems, the power comes from within our hearts and within ourselves. And when we really connect with who we are authentically, we're able to really love other people around us. We're able to connect with them on a level where it says, I value you. And then we become like this positive force, like this energy that people want to come into your life. They want to work with you. They want to be on your team. Your relationships are much more healthy. So I want to share something with you. It's just my story about, and this is my professional story. And I worked for over 25 years for a major bridal retailer, bridal jewelry. And I was the director of operations, and I was working really hard to eventually secure a VP position. And my boss and we had talked about it. I was the succession plan. He was training me. And I took a lot of pride in being the go-to person for many different departments. And I would go into these meetings with what I thought was the best interest of the company. And I learned some things about this. So I would go in and it was almost like a fight to be right about things, and that I wanted what was best for the company, but I wasn't paying attention to what everybody else wanted. So just fast forward a little bit, what happened is the company had a different plan, and they let my boss go. And then not only was I passed over for the position, I wasn't even considered. And I will tell you, like, in all honesty, that hurt. I put in 20 years of plenty of 60 or 70 hours a week. And then I got angry. And then what happened is my boss left, and I left 2 weeks later, and I was angry. And as I took a step back and was able to really look at this, what I realized was I had become an obstacle. So because I had this wall up where people couldn't see me, it was all about what I wanted, I failed to connect with what was important to the executives and to the other committee members. I failed to value other people. So I know that when I look at that experience, it is like one of the turning points of my life, with understanding how important it is to value and connect with other people. And so those mistakes that I made, they weren't really mistakes. They were just, I didn't know what I didn't know, right? And so I would ask you, do you have walls up that are keeping you from your dreams? Are you not showing who you are and not valuing the people that are in front of you, like truly at an intrinsic level? And if you're not, I would consider that you find a way to take responsibility for all those walls that you have and learn to bring them down and show your vulnerability and be able to connect with people on another level. And so I would imagine that we've all had those moments of feeling vulnerable and feeling like, oh man, I wish I wouldn't have done that. And you think about it, you wish it away, and it's like, you know what? I'm going to learn from that. You're going to learn from that moment. And how do you now move forward and teach someone else about that? Right? And you're not going to make those same mistakes per se. Those are learning experiences. And so I want to share something with you that literally changed my life. This one thing. And it is really learning to connect with another human being. And it's called agape love. And a lot of us have probably heard that, and it might be in a faith-based, a godly love. It's not romantic love, and it's not godly love. It is really meeting somebody where they're at and stepping into their world and loving them for who they are. So when you have this conversation with somebody, this opportunity, you're asking them, you really want to understand, not just I'm here to have a conversation with somebody and I want to know you. It's I'm stepping into your world. I have no preconceived ideas of who you are. I'm not judging you. I have no expectations of you. I really want to know you. And I want to know what your hopes are and what your dreams are. And I want to know the things that scare you in life, maybe what your fears are and what those challenges are. But I want you to know that I value you for who you are right now in this space. And let me just give you an example of this. And it's actually kind of a challenge. It's a challenge that I want to give you. And it's this. So I learned a long time ago with my coach, to really connect with somebody is to show that you value them and that you love them. So if you go to like a gas station, here's an example of stepping into somebody's world and noticing what's important. So this guy pulls up in his car. It's a really nice car. It's got tricked out wheels, and you can tell that this car is really important to him, right? And he might even be polishing it up. And you walk up to him and say, oh, your car is so amazing, and those wheels just make it look so much greater. And you'll see, if you pay attention, how his face will light up. And then I would ask that you think about, how did that make you feel? When you made an impact on this person, something that was so important to him, you made an impact and showed that you recognize that something valued him. So I would encourage you to go out this week and connect with 10 different people. Like your family, your friends, the people that you work with, people that you don't even know. Notice something about them that you can tell is important and let them know that. And then really see how you feel because you can tell that you made an impact in their life. So for me, that was life-changing. I didn't understand the value of really connecting with people because I was operating from this space of, I don't need you. I'm safe here all by myself. And this one thing, I promise you, if you go out and practice it, it will change how you see people and how people see you. And it's in those moments where your healing begins to happen, because we're not meant to walk this world alone. We're meant to walk in community. And when we truly learn to connect with other people, it changes us. It changes us at our core. And so when I was telling my story about being at work, I wasn't practicing agape love. And, you know, even though I thought I was coming at this from a space of love, I didn't understand what that meant. And so being able to have these tools has changed everything. And so I wonder sometimes, I've actually thought about it, like, how did it feel to work with someone like me who was more concerned about the results that I wanted? And even though I was coming from a place of good intention, like I really thought it was a good place, it wasn't what other people needed to feel. So I would ask you to consider that. Now, what is it like to work and interact in relationships if you don't value that person in front of you? And so at that point in my life, I was going through my second divorce, and here my career was over, at least in that sense. And I looked at myself and said, something is not working in your life and you need to do something different. And so that is when I dove into personal development. And it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy at all to look at myself and to look at all the things that I was carrying around in my bag all of those years. I didn't realize that all of this pain and struggle over the years, I carried with me in all of my relationships. And so once I became aware, I couldn't be unaware. And so I realized that I needed somebody to walk side by side with me, that I needed to have somebody that will hold me accountable. And we all need support at sometimes, you know, we all do. There's obstacles in life that we encounter, and having somebody there to support you is like such an amazing journey. And so I want to ask you, like, if you know that you're in this place of feeling stuck and you don't know what the answer is, and it's like, what am I going to do to get out of this place? That I would encourage you to seek that support. And so, is it now? Is it later? Or do you never change that place in your life? Do you continue to operate from the identity of victim and I went through all of this? Or do you decide that I want life transformation? Like, I am tired. I want to do something different. And is that today? Is that next week? Or do you look at yourself in 12 months and you're asking yourself the same questions? It is ultimately your decision when you're going to decide that I've had enough of this stuff. I'm ready to unpack my bag and I want to learn how to transform my life. And so I got to that place, and that was the best decision of my life. And if I may, I would like to share one more story with you. And this is one I'm going to really try to get through without crying. With the abuse that I went through in life, I continued to make like decisions that weren't healthy for me. And I went from one relationship to one relationship. I went from one marriage to the next marriage. And there was a lot of moments where I wasn't proud. But here's the thing. I was also raising my son during this time where I couldn't figure out myself, and I'm bringing this human being into the world. And through my journey, I would say that the hardest part of my journey was forgiving myself. Forgiving myself for not giving my son the life that I believed he deserved. But that was at my core. Now, I learned in my conscious mind that everything that I had done was because of my thought processes and the habits that I had learned over the years. And I knew that I did the best I could with the tools I had in my chest, right? But it still was hard for me as a mom to know that now my son had these struggles to go through. Well, my son and he lives in California, I'm here in Nevada, and we kind of realized that we hadn't been talking regularly enough. It was like 4 weeks would go by. We didn't have a conversation. And so we decided we're going to talk every week. And so I added him to my schedule. And I would encourage you to add things to your schedule that you know you want to do, but somehow they keep escaping your priority list. So I added him to my schedule. So every Wednesday at 2:30, I call my son and we talk for 30 to 45 minutes. Now, life gets in the way and it's not every single Wednesday, but that is the intention and we stick to it most of the time. And we talk about life, and I'm able to, share things that I've learned, and he shares some things that he's going through. Well, here's where it's at. About a month ago, on one of these calls, my son told me, he said, "Mom, I want you to know that you have changed so much." He said, "You are so happy and you're free." And here's where I'm trying to hold it together. And he said, "Mom, I want to be free like you. Will you help me do that?" And I can't tell you, that was just, I know that everything that I did, the commitment that I made to myself to work through my stuff was not just for me to find that joy, because this freedom face and this smile that I have today, I didn't have this before. But to hear my son say that and to know that I am making a difference now for him, and now he can go and make a difference for his 2 boys who are 6 and 1, the ripple effect when you own your healing and you decide that I'm not going to live in this space anymore. I'm not going to use what happened to me as an excuse for not showing up as the best version of me. And I can only say that's one life at a time. And I get so fulfilled when I see other people be able to make that transformation as well. It's absolutely, there are no words for it. There is no monetary value that I can put on the peace and freedom that I feel. And let me just make one thing clear. It's like finding joy and peace and freedom doesn't mean that life is all just peaches and cream, right? Life still happens. But when you come from this space of letting all of this stuff go, you learn to find value in all of your experiences. And now you can use those experiences to connect with somebody else. And so, is today the day that you decide, And so what I want to promise you is this, is that I am a safe space. And I am a place where you can show your vulnerability, where you can go through all of those hurts and really work through them and let them go and start to value your experiences instead of looking at them as that hurt. And I promise to be that person, that trusted partner that holds you accountable, that walks side by side with you. I can't do the work for you. Only you can do that. Only you can decide to do that, but I can walk with you and guide you and encourage you. And so my gift to you today is I have a habits of thinking assessment that helps me understand where you are and how I can best serve you. And then having a 30-minute call to go over those results so that we can really look at what are your habits, what are your thinking, what are the things that are stopping you from getting the things that you want in life. And at that time, we can like go through what are the things that you want to achieve in life? What are the obstacles that you're facing? What is it that you truly want? What are your goals? And then we can decide if, you know what, if working together makes sense. Because I know that when you make that decision to really overcome the stuff that you're carrying around with you, your life will change. And the people in your life will notice it. The relationships in your life will improve. And I would love to be a part of that. So I would encourage you to go over, book that call, take that assessment, and let's just see. Let's see if this is what you need to make that life transformation. So thank you very much. That is the end of my presentation. If you have any questions, I stopped the screen sharing so I can actually see people. And I can see the chat. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Does anybody have any questions at all? You can put them in the chat. I promise I'm going to go back and look at everything.
Thank you, Kim. Do anyone have any questions for Kim? Get those dropped in the chat so that she can answer those. Wow, that was moving, powerful, and also just deep. Wow, thank you for taking us there. I know that sometimes those traumas have to heal for us to move forward in our businesses. So I want to thank you for your words of wisdom today and taking us there. Y'all give Kim a big round of applause.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.